I'm Candice Chirwa, also known as your favorite Minister of Menstruation, and we're live at the YouthX event on social good and sustainability, where we're chatting about all good things about how you can be a change maker in your community. My journey as a Minister of Menstruation really just came through from my passion and love for educating young girls on periods, but in particular really trying to understand how we change the narrative around periods, not only amongst young girls, but boys and men included. So I do this through my NGO called Curate, where we've been running workshops for the past 5 years. And I think what has been really great is finding the synergy between YouthX and the work that I do, and that it's enabled me to sort of increase my scale of impact, but also allow other young change makers who want to start their own initiatives to do their own thing. So yeah, being the Minister of Menstruation for me is like truly about education and empowering young people, but now having the opportunity to do so to help other young people, it's a win-win for me. When I pinned success on material items, I found that I was more anxious and more stressed about how I would get them versus when I based it on a metric of how the work made me feel. And so for me, success is I love what I do and I'm going to do what I love. And when I base it off that, I'll always step into rooms knowing that I'm always going to be intentional in giving back, in either educating people or speaking at an event because I love what I do. And when I'm driven by that, then the success seeps its way through in different forms. So even if it's like being recognized on really cool platforms or coming to cool events like this, I'm driven more by how I intend to make people feel rather than the money. And that's the thing about being a social entrepreneur. You have to be people driven, you can't be profit driven. And yeah, obviously profits have to pay the bills, right? But let that be your main value in life. Let that be the thing that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I really want to change people's lives. Yeah. So I think a lot of young black women speak about the issues around entering spaces that are not made for them, right? And for me, being a pioneer in this space, I'm creating spaces for other young black women or other people who are menstruators to be in spaces that they are acceptable. But I think for me, the biggest challenge is mental health. I struggle a lot with affirming myself because imposter syndrome, which is this little mini me, like a little toxic mini me, will always be on my shoulder and be like, Candice, what you did wasn't enough, you should do more. Or the way you spoke was too fast, you should do more. And I think for me, being the biggest self-critic is the most difficult thing I faced in this journey alone, because there's no one that I can look up to. I'm basically leading the way. And I think I want to affirm a lot of young people who are starting their own things or in their own career paths or any journeys. The worst thing you can do is compare your journey to others. And the worst thing you can do is always undermine the work that you put in. No matter what the work is, whether it was just sending an email today or you did the most, you put in work nonetheless. Even if you were just taking care of yourself, that was putting in work. And you need to affirm yourself more and not be your harshest critic. So yeah, for me, the biggest thing was I've had moments where I've been in my car crying, feeling depressed, wanting to hang up the Minister of Menstruation. But I was always driven by the fact that there are people who need me to change their lives, and that's ultimately what a change maker is about.